How did you did you understand the script at times? Because I read the scripts and I'm like, we're of similar age. Like Tim, Tim and that crew for my daughter and my son, I mean, he's Elvis. He's like
Yeah, my
the
kids
guy,
also. My
you know.
kids they rave over
Oh
that.
my God, Tim Robbins, he's the guy. But I'm like, yeah, I would read like some of the things on the script and I go, I don't, I have no idea what's going on. When you
Yeah.
see it and it's put all together, you go, okay. But how did you acclimate to so many moving parts?
Well, first off, I didn't get all the scripts at once. I did the pilot not knowing anything about the future scripts. I did have the sides that I had were from scenes that really weren't part of the episodes, and little bits they added it into
Right.
it, but it wasn't a scene in itself for the episodes. So I didn't know who Mike was. I mean, of course, he's a little bit, a sandwich short of a picnic, because because it's a guy over the head with a pipe, right? And there's
Yeah.
that. So I thought he was a straight, just angry, mean, tough guy.
Yeah.
But then in the flip of a coin, I'm afraid of him. He's chasing me. I'm running away from him.
Right. Right.
Now, think about that switch in mentality for an actor to go through. I mean, on the top of a dime, I'm running. He's chasing me. I'm running away. So that whole motivation just changed. And where does that come from? That's all I had. I didn't know that they were going to be friends later on. They were going to be. I kind of assumed because the scenes I read, the sides for the audition indicated that. And I said to, I think it was Todd, one of the producers, I said, Todd, I don't understand during the pilot. We're having this combative relationship, and then all of a sudden we're going to be friends? He goes, yeah. I go, how does that happen? He goes, he starts to tell me, you know what I did? I said, no, don't tell me.
Right.
I don't
Right.
want to. I don't want to know.
You want to live it.
I want to play this. This is what I have to play. And that goes back to like a system that you use, well, that I use is that is the moment that I have to be locked into. Doesn't matter what happens later on.
Right.
And so I kind of got off track here.
No, 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 that's
Um,
I'm with you. No, 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 no.
yeah,
That's you were talking about you don't want to know what's
yeah,
ahead in the script because you want to live the part. You want to be in the moment.
that's right. So
You
I
got to
haven't
be in the
seen
moment.
I hadn't seen anything else. We get green lighted, and then we have a reading of episode 2, 3, and 4. I get a little bit more to know about how erratic Mike is, and this is getting exciting for me. Oh wow, this is
Oh
getting
yeah.
crazy. He threatens him, he throws him out of the diner, brings him in the back, then he wants to work with him, and then ways he wanes, and the whole 9 yards. But I didn't see the next scripts until we got maybe to the fourth episode. Started shooting it. Then I got 5 and 6, and so that's how it went. I didn't know what was coming. Didn't want to be infected by what was coming. I wanted to do the moment. You know.
The moment for me where I thought it was brilliant writing. I think the writing is brilliant because everything does eventually get tied together. The show keeps you on your toes. I mean, you got to pay attention. You know, the acting's great, the characters are great, Downey's great, but when you show up to the cookout, Mike shows up to the cookout
Mm,
and he rejects him. I'm
yeah,
like, oh,
yeah,
I'm like, oh, this poor guy's got nowhere to go. Ron, and the thing about Tim, Tim's a really good actor. People think of Tim as a comedian and he's a comedic genius. He's a really good actor. Because he's been able to, at that point, Ron kind of becomes the asshole, where, yeah, and that's hard to do. I mean, Tim's, he's a really good actor. So all of a sudden, we're like, poor Ron, we're like feeling for this guy. And then all of a sudden, oh my God, Mike, you can't let Mike go away. You got to keep him at the party. You can't let him leave, you know?
Yeah. What happens in those last few episodes, which weren't known to me in the earlier episodes,
Right.
I discover about Mike in those moments is that he's a very lonely guy,
Oh, yeah. 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 Yeah.
extremely lonely, and you don't find that out until maybe episode 6. Um, when Ron calls him family in the hospital, that was the first indication that
Right.
Mike feels, oh, this I like this guy. This is a nice relationship here. So
Well,
so
Ron's
I didn't.
lonely too. Ron's lonely too.
Yeah, but Mike doesn't know that. Mike
Oh,
doesn't know.
right.
Mike never crosses over. I mean, there's three different worlds. There's Ron and his family, Ron and his
Right.
work, and then Ron and Mike. Ron and Mike never cross over to the other two worlds.
Right. Right.
Never.
Right.
Except almost at the party when the boss comes out, Jeff comes out. There's that little kind of look at each other, but
Right.
we never cross. We never cross. And I think Ron wants that. He doesn't want Mike in his other worlds.
Right. But what Mike wants to be. Yeah, I get
Yeah,
it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. At that point, yes, Mike wants it. So he's a lonely guy, and I found that out towards the end. And he almost would do anything to stay in those good graces with Mike. Even after being rejected at the party, when Ron comes back and he tells me he was sorry that he should have let me go to the party, and I go, okay, because I'm willing to put my feelings aside as Mike to get back in that relationship with Ron. So I need him as that friend. I need him. That's how we end that first season.
One of the uh, one of the other elements, or one of the small parts of the see, for me, for the series, and with Tim's humor, it's always the little things. Like, and he can have these big combustible moments, but if you really pay attention to what Tim Robinson is doing, it's the little things kind of after the fact that I like. Like when, first of all, I mean, Lake's great, Lake Bell's great, but they're playing Twister at the end of the game. At the end of this, they bust out Twister, and I'm like, I am pissing my pants because I haven't seen that game since my sister and I and my cousins played it, back in good
Sure.
old Rumford, Maine, right? Where nobody
My
had
wife played that
phones,
last week.
we had Twister. And I'm like, and Barb, and Lake is great because she's like the adult in the room. Barb,
Yeah.
the Twister, let's play Twister. And I'm like, I'm dying. Then there's somebody's in the closet, and I'm like, it's got to be Mike. Mike's
Yeah,
got to be in
little
the
child.
closet. Now what the hell's going on? Because what this show really has done, and it's created that genre of mystery, horror, and comedy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Where one minute you're like, WTF, and the next minute you're like, oh. So the drunk guy comes out of the closet. It's my cousin. I paid him to go watch you, and I'm like, of course. And that's where Zach and Tim and the writing is great because they're taking you down one way, then it's, oh, it's my cousin. He needed a job. I need a job. I need a job.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, you go from like,
yeah,
oh my God, there's somebody in the closet with a knife to, laughing your ass off.
yeah. He's a good actor too, Joe. I had a lot of fun with him. Hopefully he comes back for season 2. I'd love to see him back.